So in this video, we're going to look at using the formula Countifs. It's one of my favorite formulas to use once we start trying to really get into figuring things out with data, because what Countifs will do is it allows you to count things with multiple conditions. So you can think about it like this from the standpoint of thinking if-then. So count if this is equal to that, and if this is equal to that. It's kind of a conditional formatting, and I've got two formulas here set up that we're going to work with. You can see them here and here, so make sure you're looking for the numbers 5 and 4. That's what we should expect. So when we go here, what we're going to do is we want to know if column D, we want to count the scores in column D that are greater than 80, and if column E has scores greater than 90, then we're actually going to end up with a number here. So it's only going to count the scores that have the first score greater than an 80 and the second score greater than a 90 here in column E. So to do that, we're going to say equals Countifs, and then we'll do DD, and basically we can just click right there, and that'll give us the D and D. Now on Countifs, we do a comma, and everything goes inside the quotation marks here. We can use this with text as well, but you can see the layout for Countifs. It's going to be the range, and then the comma, and then the criteria, and then we'll do a comma, and then we can do our second range, which is E to E. One of the things about Excel is this right here covers up stuff and it drives me nuts. Say E to E, so comma, and we'll do our quotation mark, so greater than 90, and then close it. So you can see here on our first one, we're saying if DD is greater than 80 and if EE is greater than 90, then count, so enter, and it gives us 5. To show you where those are at, here on row 4, row 14, here on 20, on 21, and then down here at 28. Those are the 5 in which we see students who scored above an 80 in the first and above a 90 on the second test. So that gives us our Countifs. Now what we're going to do with this one is we're actually going to go in here and we're going to add a third condition, and this time on our third condition we're going to apply it to F. What we want to know is if any of these kids scored really high, did well on 1, scored really high on 2, but then on test 3 actually dropped. So that's what we're looking for on this formula. So we're going to go in here and we'll say equals Countifs. So remember now we're going to say, so D colon D, comma, quotation mark, so greater than 80, close the quotations, and then a comma, so we can start the next argument. Our next argument is going to be E colon E, comma, and then quotation mark, so remember greater than 90, close it, quotations, and we close with the comma, so now we go to our third, which is now F, so F colon F. Now on this one, remember we're going to say we want to know below an 80. So now we're looking at the first 3 here. So we want to know, did they score above an 80 on the first, above a 90 on the second, but then drop below an 80 on the third? We hit enter, and the answer is 4. The only one that didn't is right here, but they did on the fourth test. So what we're looking at here is this person showed an increase, an increase, an increase. Well, in the other 4 cases, there was an increase, and then an increase, and then a decrease in the test. So we can use these numbers here, 5 and 4. So what Countifs allows you to do is it's going to allow you to count things based on conditions, and this includes numbers, this includes text, as you can see here, conditions using greater than or equal than. So Countifs is really helpful when you're trying to count multiple things. It's most often something I see if I'm trying to say I want to know the number of, let's say, white females in a class, and I've got like say 600 kids. If I can easily do count to tell me male or female, and I can easily do count to tell me which racial ethnic group they're in. But if I want to know both, then I have to use Countifs because I've got 2 conditions. So Countif is for the single condition, and then Countifs, plural, is going to be for multiple conditions.